The new Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series on Disney Plus just wrapped up this morning. Let's talk about it. Hello, YouTube. Axiomat here once again. And I just finished watching the season finale, which was actually 2 episodes of the new Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series on Disney Plus. The reason I'm capturing this angle of the recording studio is I was trying to get my Spider-Man stuff, but I angled it in a way where the DC stuff is, so it looks kind of weird. Whatever, as long as my cool Spider-Man stuff comes out. But this series, there's a lot to talk about. This is spoiler free, so I'll cover what I can, how I can, without spoiling anything for those that have not yet seen it. Let's get into it. Number one is the animation. I totally dug this animation with Spider-Man things that are already out, like Across and Into the Spider-Verse, where they did this whole animation style that looks like a comic book. Epic. It was so cool. And then the new Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem came out, and that looked like a comic book, but it was different. The same, but different. So I'm loving the fact that these animators, these creators are now trying to find different ways of how to make this animation style look like a comic book. This series does that on a 2D platform, so it's not on a 3D style type of thing. So that works in its favor. The fact that it looks like a comic book and they actually do comic book panels throughout the series is so cool. I love it. I love the animation style that they decided to use for this series. This does take place in an alternate universe. So even though it's part of the larger MCU, if you will, for those that have been following along, you know that there's all kinds of multiverses and all kinds of timelines, something the Fantastic Four, I believe, will tackle. Doctor Strange has already tackled it. There's many timelines, many stories at this point in the MCU timeline that have already tackled these subjects. So this is basically just another Spideyverse. With that comes the fact that they can tell another story without fans getting too up in arms. This is not the essential Spider-Man. That's okay, because it's in an alternate universe. But the cool part is that it's still part of the larger MCU. So when you watch it, you'll know what I'm referring to. And if you have watched it, you already know. There's a lot of tie-ins, and yet they're alternate versions of the tie-ins. This show is so well done when it comes to that aspect of it. The fact that it's still connected to the larger MCU just on its own story arc. Great writing, great thinking, idea, the whole thing. The storyline in and of itself is easy to follow. There's a lot of action sequences that are very adult themed. And it's weird to say it that way, especially with the new Daredevil series coming out that says mature audiences. So it's going to be very like the Netflix show. I've been hearing even more gruesome in a way. But for an animated series and a Spider-Man series, it is very adult themed when it comes to battle sequences and some of the topics that they cover. So the storyline, while easy to follow, still has a lot of depth. So that was nice to see that they are still taking this alternate universe seriously. This one's a personal thing for me. Might be for a lot of people out there. The web slinging. Now, one of the coolest aspects of watching a Spider-Man show, whether that be animated, show, film, movie, whatever, video game, is the web slinging. As he web slings throughout New York City. In this show, and I'm not just saying this because it's a new show. I'm saying this because I always judge the movie, show, or whatever it may be based on the web slinging. Just a personal pet peeve or pet peeve favorite thing. I've kind of said this in another video where it's not a pet peeve if you like it, right? But I still refer to it as a pet peeve, an axiom antic. Ooh, I'm going to coin that. But the web slinging in this series is by far the best I've ever seen. The way he swings around the city, just the web slinging, the thwip, dare I say even better than in the Into and Across the Spider-Verse movies. Ooh, I might get some slack for that, but my statement stands because this is just my personal preference. I love it. The web slinging is top notch, A+ in my book. And last but not least is actually the setup for the next season. The way it wraps itself up, which, do we have any TV watchers, any TV show watchers here on YouTube? Of course we do. There's something to be said about showrunners that cannot wrap up a season, or maybe just don't know how to. They leave too many loose ends, and even the continuation into the next setup is whatever that may be. I think the way they ended this series was excellent, in my opinion. All the ties that will lead into season 2, that's not a spoiler. They've already confirmed that we will be getting a season 2 of this Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series. And I think the way they did it at the end for the last 2 episodes were perfect. It was just perfect. The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series on Disney Plus is a 10-episode series. And the way they released them was a little weird. They did what they typically do with a 2-episode release date, but then they did 3 episodes, and then they started doing 2 episodes. It was weird, just the way they released them. But they're all out now on Disney Plus, so there's no need to really worry about that. Just thought I'd mention that. If you wanted to, go ahead and binge it. The episodes are short. They're about 18 to 20 minutes long, and it's very easy to get through on a single, I don't know, just order some pizza and some wings. New York style pizza and some wings. And then you'll get through it. You'll get hooked. In my opinion, you will get right into it. Some of the scenes, as I mentioned earlier, with the fighting and the action sequences, had me on the edge of my seat. Even though you always know that your favorite wall crawler will get through it, you don't know with a new writer, and especially with the alternate universe, especially with that, you don't know if the Spider-Man will survive. And I won't confirm nor deny that in this video. But that is it for this video. Non-spoiler review of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series on Disney Plus. Go check it out. I give it easily a 9.5, 10 out of 10. As I mentioned, it's not part of the regular, if you have any kind of inclinations, well, that's not, like, why did they do this? Why? It's okay. It's okay to take creative liberties on an alternate timeline, alternate universe. As a matter of fact, it's almost invited. We've already received the quintessential storylines, whether it be Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, whoever it may be. We've gotten so many iterations of the storyline as it's supposed to be, that if you have any, kind of negative, I don't know about that, watch it. Seriously, watch it, because it's just an alternate take on the same character. And when done right, it'll grab you and it'll just make you watch. I guarantee you this will make you watch. Well, I can't guarantee it, but to each their own, I suppose. As always, that's it for this video. Collect what you love what you collect. I'll see you guys in the next one.